What's good, vlog? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. So we have a lot of new different faces here. I think we've grown in the last couple of weeks like another 1,000 or 2,000 subs. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys are a new subscriber or if you're returning one, drop a comment down below. Let me know if you've been here for a little bit, if you've been with the family for a little bit, or if you're new here, and let me know if you're just joining from the marathon prep series. Because right now, I know a lot of my content is around this marathon prep, but it's life in marathon prep, you know? So I'm trying to share anything like content creation behind the scenes, any type of like equipment or tech that I get my hands on, like this lens, and just kind of share everything around my life along with this whole marathon prep. If you guys see the title though, I definitely want to go over today how I've gotten faster and just more efficient at running. Because if you go back to the first video, that was about 8 to 9 weeks ago. I was running probably, I think I was running 2 runs a week at that time, and it was, my best run was 9 or 10 miles at like a 10-minute pace or something. Now we just ran 10 miles yesterday at a 8:47 pace, and then today we have another 10 miles. We hit 61 miles the other week, so we are definitely running faster and we're running longer. So we're starting to build that, you know, that endurance. Yeah, I want to share with you guys kind of what's worked for me. I'm not a running coach, but I have experience coaching people, and I also have experience programming, which is why I think it's going well. But I'll share with you guys, you know, what type of runs are helping me out, how I'm feeling, how I'm recovering, how I'm doing all this, because it definitely takes a toll on your body. Right now, I'm just stretching out. I'm using a massage gun and then also a foam roller, and then I just kind of do a little bit of like yoga and some static stretching at home. And then when I go to where I run, I'll do more of the dynamic stuff that I went over last video, so I won't go over all of that. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy this one. And for those of you guys who are interested in what runs I have for this week, I'll kind of list them all out again. So we have a 10-mile easy run, a 10-mile easy run, a 10-mile tempo run, a 10-mile easy run, a 9-mile easy run, and a 17-mile long run, and that is paced. So we have 65 total miles for this week. That means that that'll be another, from here on out, every week is like the most amount of miles I've run. So this is 65, next week is gonna be even more, and then the week after, then we have a recovery week. So we're in like the thick of it. My marathon is in October, so I have about 2 months left. So yeah, it's go time right now. But I'm gonna stop yapping and we're gonna get over to where we run. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it is hot out here today, and like this is for San Diego weather, but it's about 75 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It's funny because we were actually supposed to have we had a tsunami warning yesterday, and everyone, like all my family texted me and all my friends texted me, and they were like, because I guess, I don't know if it was Germany or some other country had been hit by an earthquake and it was supposed to hit us in Hawaii, but yeah, it did not change anything. It was sunny and beautiful. It's sunny and beautiful outside. I'm sitting in the shade because it is just way too hot to be in the sun right now. I want to go over kind of what types of runs you should be adding into your training routine, because I think that's probably one of the biggest things that you want to focus on, especially when you get first started into marathon prep. You want to be very strategic about how much you're increasing your weekly runs and how you're structuring your weekly runs. I use Nick Bare's method, so because I watch a lot of his content, he does 4 easy runs a week, one speed workout and one long run. So my running week starts on a Tuesday. I use Mondays as my rest day, and then it goes Tuesday, Wednesdays are easy runs, Thursdays the speed workout, which typically is either going to be a track workout or a tempo run, and then Friday, Saturday are easy runs, and then Sunday's my long run. And that's just how I've been structuring it. You typically want your long run to be on the last day of your 6-day block of running, because you want to learn how to run on tired legs, or at least that's what I've learned from Nick Bear and Jeff Cunningham, who is his coach, and that's what I put into Claude. So if you guys are new here, or if you guys are just watching this for the first time, you'll know that I'm trying to chase this sub-3 marathon using Claude AI, which is just, it's not sponsored at all, it's just the one I've used because I've heard Claude is a little bit better with programming. But you essentially want to give it all this data, and you have to be really on top of it, which is why I think being a coach myself helps a lot. But I pretty much told it, okay, this is the structure of my workouts, these are my inspirations, and here's like all the data I have. And then every week I'm updating it. So every week I'm screenshotting my workouts, I'm screenshotting my track workouts, my long runs, and feeding it the data. That way it keeps updating its system. And that's how I've kind of been able to kind of keep up and have like this, almost like this real life coach, but it's AI, you know? So that's the structure of my workout. So the reason why you do these 3 runs, easy runs essentially are going to be the backbone of your training. They're going to be what makes up most of your week, and that's because you want to get used to more mileage on your legs. You want to build up as many mileage as you can. So every week I've slowly increased it, and now my total mileage is now at 65 miles for this week, but I started off with 12 miles per week. So essentially with easy runs, that's how you build that endurance. You build the feeling of getting used to like having more fatigue on your legs week by week. Then you go into your speed workouts. Speed workouts are typically going to be tempo runs or track workouts. Tempo runs, for example, a tempo run could be, you're supposed to run 10 miles total, but the middle 6 miles, so you run maybe 3 miles to warm up, and then the middle 6 miles are at a 7:20 pace. And you essentially just move your pace up and you gradually increase it towards that pace, you know? So that's what a tempo run is. Or track workouts would be speed workouts where you do maybe intervals, not like 100-meter sprints, but more like 400, 600, 800, 1600 meters. And if you guys just look at my past videos, you'll see what I mean. If you'd like, follow me on Strava, because I actually write all my workouts down there. But that's what speed and tempo workouts are. They're essentially building your pace up. So, you know, your easy runs are what builds your weekly mileage up, gets your legs used to the fatigue, gets you used to running on tired legs. Then you have your paced workouts or your tempo runs and your track workouts, and that's where you kind of push the pace faster. Finally, you have the long runs. And the way I see long runs are, for the majority of your long runs, you are supposed to be at the zone 2 pace, but it's a little bit of a step above. Your long runs are going to be the closest thing to kind of gauging your where you're at with your marathon training compared to like a real marathon. And those runs are pretty much getting you used to that final 26 miles, you know? So with long runs, typically what my long runs have been nowadays, they're long run workouts. So they're not just running for 17 miles, although like that's still great. It's also the last 6 miles are at a 8:15 pace or something. And then that kind of goes down, the pace like goes down every single week, where you want that pace to get closer to that. For me, it's that 6:50 pace, and that's what makes a sub-3 marathon. So your long runs kind of put everything together, but you still want to do them on the last day, not on fresh legs, but on the last day of your week, because you want them to be, imagine like if you can run 17 miles after a whole week of training and you can still keep up the pace you want. Imagine then what if you've recovered properly and you've had a whole week of recovery, fueling properly, and then you do that marathon on race day. So again, I've never ran a marathon, but the way Nick Bear explained it on his last video is a marathon's like this big symphony of like all these different things you've been doing over this period of like 20 to 24 weeks, where everything just comes together into that one day. And that's kind of how it felt for my last half marathon. Although I didn't really structure it, like it wasn't really, I was using the Nike Run app, I was kind of just following the basic marathon plan. This is a little bit more customized and a little bit more like I'm on the money. So yeah, I would say if you were to get yourself started on a marathon plan, just see how your week looks like, see how much time you can dedicate to it, and then make sure you have those 3 runs, whether it's one each day or it's 4 days or 5 days, but you just want to have at least one speed workout, one long run, and then easy runs. All right, y'all. Hopefully that helps you guys who are just getting started, or if you guys have been in marathon prep or you're just getting started with your training block, try to incorporate that in it. Right now, I'm gonna go do a little bit more dynamic stretching and get this run started.
Hey, staring at your dress cause it's see-through. Yeah, talking not that you done been through. Yeah, say that you a and girl, me too. Hey, girls want girls where I'm from. Hey, yeah, girls want girls. Girls want girls where I'm from. Yeah, girls want girls. Hey, well, girls want girls where I'm from. Hey, can I play a player, baby? I grew up with Dre and Faith. I done seen the realest ones come and leave a crazy way. Had to take my spot, it wasn't something they just gave away.
A few moments later.
That was a really good run. So I'll show you guys today's run. So we did 10 miles at a 8:38 pace. Total time was 1:26. So we got that right there. You can't see that. I will say towards the end, like the last mile and a half, I started to feel a little bit of pain like on the top half of my left calf. So we were able to finish it, but I'm really hoping that it doesn't linger to tomorrow. I'm gonna talk more on injuries later in this video, but we went grocery shopping after, so I figured I'd do a little grocery haul. I actually have a very odd diet, which I'll go further into, but I pretty much eat one big meal a day and fast for a lot of my day. Not because I think there's something super special about fasting. I just, when I'm like filming, talking to the camera, creating videos, like the creativity mind of mine actually works better when I don't have a very full stomach. So typically I'll have like a protein shake to start off the day with after my run. And then I don't really eat till like 4 or 5 o'clock. And then I'll have like multiple mini snacks and then one big meal. But we got some cookies. This is gonna go in the Ninja Creamy. We got some spinach. We got eggs, frozen vegetables. We got chicken leg meat. If you guys have ever tried chicken leg meat, you'll know, but chicken leg meat is so much better than chicken breast and is leaner than chicken thighs. Like if I tell you the macros real quick, for 4 ounces, there's 130 calories, 4.5 grams of fat and 21 grams of protein. It's got less fat than chicken thighs, but it tastes so much better than chicken breast. We got banana, almond milk. We got these little cheese sticks. What else do we get? These little pretzel things. And this. I'm gonna actually bring this to the movies with me later on. But yeah, that's kind of a typical grocery haul. And then what I'll do is I'll usually have, like, if I'm out and about, I'll usually get Kava, Chipotle, or something more convenient. Right now I'm just eating for convenience. But I wanted to talk to you guys about diet. So for your diet when you're on marathon prep, from what I've seen so many different creators eat in different ways. And I think because you're running so much, you actually have a lot of flexibility with your diet. But I think the biggest things you want to pay attention to that I've learned is your carbs. So protein, you want to maintain around like 1 gram per pound of body weight. That just kind of maintains your muscle. And you know, I'm still trying to look a certain way and I'm still trying to feel strong in the gym. So you want to have at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. But when it comes to your carbs and your fats, you really want to play around with it. I track my calories just because since I'm eating 1 meal a day, I have to make sure I'm not under eating. So I'm eating about 2,400 calories a day right now. If you aren't tracking your calories, then I would say you definitely want a little bit more structure with your meals and then with your carbs. So what I've learned the most about carbs is if you're running, let's say 8 to 7 miles, you don't really need any carbs in the morning. But once you start crossing into like hour and a half long runs, 2 hours, 3 hours, you definitely need carbs. What I like to do is the night before, I try to have, if I have a big workout the next day, I'll have a big carb meal. You'll see, like, you remember like the Michael Scott, and he has the big bowl of pasta and everything. Like, not that crazy, but just have a lot of carbs, usually like rice, clean carbs that kind of help your stomach. You don't want a lot of fats. You actually want to kind of limit away from super fatty foods because they might mess up your stomach a little bit. And then the morning of, if it's a run for me that's over, let's say 8 to 10 miles, if it's over that, I'll have 3 dates or I'll have like 30 to 40 grams of carbs in the morning. If it's like a 2 hour run, so like one of my long runs or like one of the big workouts I have, then I'll have something like a bagel with peanut butter, and then I'll have like 70 to 80 grams of carbs. So you kind of want to play around with it. I'm still trying to figure it out, and especially with, oh no, my shutter speed was low. Especially as I get closer to my marathon, I'm going to play around more with kind of what exactly I need to put into my diet. But because you run so much, you actually have a lot more flexibility with the foods you eat. Just make sure, you're not always, Nick Bear has a saying. He says, if you put garbage in your system, you're gonna feel like garbage. And it is true. So you wanna make sure you're fueling properly. You wanna make sure you eat enough protein, make sure you're carbing up properly, and just experiment as you're marathon training. The good thing is, your first marathon like mine is going to be like the test. And then from there, you're gonna have a better idea.
But they fell through. So you shot 42 cause you throwing on that dress cause it's see-through. Yeah, talking out of kid that you done been through. Yeah, touching me and say I need to see you. I don't know. I might come, I might go, I don't know.
I am really enjoying this like adventuring with takeout food out here. Again, there's so many different hidden gems with food in San Diego, and I just haven't had the chance, or I haven't given myself the chance to do it because I've always been so strict with, what I need to eat, especially when I was cutting down. But now that I'm kind of running so much, I have the diet and flexibility where, I don't know, it's fun to explore with food. But here's this. This is a Filipino place called Cujo, I believe, or Kuji. I forget the exact name, but I'll pop it on the screen. But it's Filipino food, and I've had it a couple times, but only when I was working as a nurse in the hospital. Filipino nurses would always bring in food, and it would be so fire. So this is, if I'm gonna pronounce it correctly, sing sing or siksik. So it's like this pork, and you got some onions, some celery, a couple of different vegetables, but you got that, and then you got the rice. So it's a pretty clean meal. I'm also planning on getting popcorn when I get into the movie theater too. So yeah, again, we have the flexibility nowadays with our running, so we can kind of take advantage of it. Let me give you guys a quick bite real quick before I go into the whole topic. So, bruh, look at that. Here, take a little, yeah. We'll do one more because that was fire. A little bit of both. Yeah. That 10 out of 10. It's like a sweet and salty type of pork. I think it's kind of citrusy flavored, but that's really good. And then they gave me some type of soup, which it's wrapped up, so I'm not going to open up right now. Yeah, I'm going to eat that in a bit. I wanted to go over, though, with you guys, just recovery and injury management, especially since I'm kind of getting injured right now, so it kind of fits the right time. So the thing with injuries and recovery that I've learned is you have to prioritize your recovery just as high as you have to prioritize your diet and your training, because when you're marathon training, it's very taxing on your body. And unfortunately right now, the ice bath in my gym is closed off. And they just haven't, I don't know what they're replacing or something, but I just haven't been able to use it in 2 weeks, which is probably why I'm getting a little bit more injured right now. And also just sleep. Sleep is huge. One thing I've definitely been kind of slacking on some days is sleep. And I don't know why, but I always end up staying up till midnight or sometimes 1 or 2. So it's something that I have to really be intentional with, because if you're neglecting your sleep, your hydration, your recovery, if you have the opportunity to use ice baths and saunas, all that is going to help you out. And the more you take time to recover, and obviously you can't do everything, but the more priority you put on it, the better you're gonna feel each day. And remember that when you're marathon training, right? Imagine if you were lifting chest for 6 days in a row. That's kind of what you're doing with your legs. You're running 6 days a week and you're almost working out your legs 6 days a week. Obviously with the easy runs, you're not taxing it a lot, but still, you're still using your legs. You really just want to make it a priority to recover, especially your sleep and water. Like those things you just can't neglect. I think that was the thing I neglected the most when I was starting off with marathon training, was just not really saving the time and prioritizing my recovery and just neglecting it. Because, you know, with so many hobbies, and if you're just treating it as a hobby and you just want to finish a marathon, you really don't need to make that like as high of a priority. Even when you're lifting, right? Like there's reason why athletes and bodybuilders, like when they lock in, they have to lock in, because that's really how you're going to get the best results. And marathon training, like when you're running so much, running 65 to 70 miles a week plus, that is not easy. You are an athlete at that point. And I tell that to my clients all the time who want to do lifting and running. I'm like, at that point, if you want to add running into your lifting routine, you have to see yourself as an athlete. Even if you're not competing, even if you're just doing it for fun and you just want to get the best body in the world, you are an athlete. So you have to start treating yourself like an athlete. I was just watching the Netflix documentaries called Receiver and Quarterback, where they follow the NFL players. Bruh, it is so motivating, like watching that and seeing how they recover, seeing how they do their routine, seeing how they eat. Like, it's so inspiring to see, and it makes you really appreciate, like, or it makes you inspired and appreciate like all the work they put in for a sport. I don't think you need to do exactly what they're doing and go as hard, but try to take stuff away. And that's what you want to do. Like, take stuff away from your favorite creators and your athletes and entrepreneurs and people you are inspired by, or your people you look up to. Because instead of just, you know, seeing their routines and trying to copy it exactly, try to take bits and pieces of it, and then that's how you're going to create your own path and your own routine. Hopefully some of that helps you guys out. I'm going to eat this, finish this up, and then it is what, 7:15 right now. The movie's at 7:30, so that gives me until about 8 p.m. So I got a little bit of time, but I'm going to eat this, throw a little YouTube on. And yeah, I'll see you guys back at the crib afterwards to give you a review of Fantastic Four. Plus, I actually have one more point to tell you guys about, and then we'll end off the vlog there. All right, y'all. Also, I got to go get some drone footage, because if you guys can see the background and see the scenery, it's beautiful right now. So I'm going to go do some clip farming as well. Yo, I'm just going to say, in the beginning of this video, I was rusty as hell with these vlogs, and I was just stumbling over my words. Now I'm feeling a little bit better. It's so funny how when you do it more, you get more natural again. Like, I haven't vlogged in a week and I just felt weird coming into it. So I wonder if it's ever gonna get better. Okay, back when I was sleeping in my mama crib, even back when I was up there in my homie crib, paying $1,700 for the rent, money well spent, no heater, but a nigga made heat, may I vent, had a thing for you, even wrote song dreams for you, cause I had dreams for your thoughts of a ring for your childish shit, you know childish shit, anonymous flower shit, you know.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death. Your world will be consumed by the Devourer. There is nothing you can do to stop him, for he is a universal force, as essential as the stars.
Movie was a solid 8.7 out of 10. If I'm like lisping, it's because I have my retainers in, but that was a really good movie. I would definitely say that was better than Superman, and you should watch the movie, because at the ending there's a crazy, you know, like the post-credit scenes. Definitely stay till the end, because that was fire. I'm gonna end off the vlog here. I did want to end off with one point. Well, first off, I've been reading fiction before bed. I know, crazy, but I've been reading this book called Red Rising, and honestly, it's kept me up the last 2 nights like for way too long. I think I stayed up till 1:30 or 2 a.m. last night, and then the night before. So yeah, it's actually been a pretty good experience. And then also sleeping, I've been using this mouth tape, and I don't know if it's the sleeping or the reading or whatever it is. I'm sorry about the light too, by the way. I have like the LEDs over there, but it's like turning my whole thing pink. But I've been using this mouth tape and I've been reading before bed, and my recovery scores, even though I didn't even sleep that well, have been like 70s, 80s, and like that's high for me, you know. So I don't know, maybe it's a combination of those two, but it's been working. Red Rising though, very good book, check it out if you get a chance to. And yeah, fiction before bed, I've never really been a fan of it until recently, and now I see why people recommend it. But if I could end off with one final thing, it's to say that go all in. It's a lot easier when you go all in versus when you just kind of go halfway in. If you're really trying to get the best results, if you're really trying to get the PRs, and if you're really trying to achieve the specific goal, if you can just go all in for 3 to 4 months instead of just kind of falling it halfway through and like being halfway in, just go all in for 3 to 4 months and you're going to get to your results faster, and it's going to be easier to stick to. I tell a lot of my training clients this, is that if you're trying to lose weight, the best way to lose weight is if you just decide that for 3 to 4 months, I'm going to say no to events, I'm going to say no to certain things, going out, whatever it is, and I'm just going to put my head down, eat clean, hustle hard, and like you can lose a lot of weight in 3 to 4 months. The problem is a lot of people end up doing that for 3 to 4 days, and then they think, okay, now that Friday or Saturday has come, I can kind of take it easy and go off plan. And what happens is you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So yeah, if you guys can like take anything away from this whole thing, especially if you're trying to aim for a specific goal in a specific amount of time, is going all in is easier than trying to find balance, because I think the balance comes after you've reached your goal, right? Like if I'm trying to lose 20 pounds, I would rather hustle, lose my 20 pounds, and then take a small break instead of trying to, take a break every single week. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of the final note I wanted to give you guys. It's something I've learned this year with content creation, with marathon prep, with everything, is if you can just go put your head down for a couple months, kind of disappear, people say monk mode, it works. Like if you can just disappear for a couple months, build those skills up, and then you come back, then you kind of can have a couple weekends off, but you're going to fall so much in love with the process anyways. So yeah, I'm going to end off the video here though. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys can even hear me okay with this thing in, but I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Hopefully you enjoyed this vlog. Hopefully you enjoyed all the info, and hopefully the info helps you guys out. All right, y'all. I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Now niggas signed a hoe, took a power trip back home. I'm grown now, and the city's my throne now. The same clubs that I used to get tossed out like